Alrighty, this is Clockwork Orange, game one from the perspective of the lion. Alright, starting items, 2 fucking fairy fires. What the hell is going on? Disruptor made the same mistake. There must be some new fucking troll BSJ video out for him to deliberately make people buy the wrong items again. So the regen is excellent. The salve and the 2 sets of tangos are good. The 2 wards are good. The clarity is good. 2 fairy fires is bad. So you got the stun. That's what we need you to open with here in the fight. So we end up going for a first blood invasion. 2 fairy fires doesn't make sense. That means you think you need either an extra 4 damage, which you don't because you're not trying to CS, or you think you're going to need to try and save your life in some clutch situation twice in the laning phase, not just once, twice. And for that, you're spending 150 gold. I don't think that's right. If you want 1 fairy fire, so you can have the extra little bit of damage, which is worthless, and then have the chance to save your life, which is really where the value comes from, then that's fine. But there's a cooldown, remember, so, and I've said this on the other video, but I doubt everyone's going to watch everyone else's videos. If you use 1 fairy fire, you can't immediately pop the other one. So if you're in a spot where you're going to die in a second if you don't use the fairy fire, that's great. You pop it, you live. But then if they stay on you, you can't use the second one. You have a cooldown, and so you need to be in 2 separate situations where you have a considerable amount of time that you could have used to heal with like a salve or tangos, and then you're hoping to outplay your opponent twice, which I think is a huge mistake here. Alrighty. Let's see where you put the wards at. So right now Mars is solo because you didn't TP to the lane. It's a minor detail. So not TPing gives Mars the solo experience, but because all the creeps are being denied, he's not getting it. Okay, good harass on the Phoenix while he was out of position. You still have the wards though. So the problem is you've now walked to lane, you've shown them that you've brought an observer and a sentry ward, and now they kind of have an idea where you're going to place it. If you had invaded where this rune fight was, and then 2 minutes later, when you guys finally end up, okay, maybe 1 minute later, when you guys finally get over to lane over here, they don't see the wards in your inventory, and that means that as far as they're concerned, whenever they didn't have vision on you anywhere in this section of the map, you could have placed those wards. But now, because you've brought the wards all the way up to lane, they now know that instead of all that area, you're going to drop the wards somewhere right here. And you can't drop them right now because you're in the lane trying to trade with the Phoenix. So you're not blocking the camp. It's now 1 minute, so you've missed your chance. The small camp has spawned. Huge mistake. And you don't have vision of the PA's courier. So if you're trying to courier snipe, you don't have it. And you won't have any vision of if the Phoenix is going to come around the other way. Because right now you're bullying the Phoenix down. That's the one good thing that's happening in this lane. But if the Phoenix decides to wrap around this backside and play on the jungle side of the map, you won't have the ward down in time to be able to see it, whereas if Phoenix brought a ward to lane, she already has it down, and that ward's going to watch you as you go back in the jungle, try to place your shit. Alright, so now get out from behind the Mars, give him his XP, good stuff. Okay, now it looks like you're going to place a ward. That's not a fantastic ward, but okay. Alright, go for a pull here. 17 seconds. Okay, huge mistake. So first big mistake here. First big mistake. Next mistake is 17 seconds you should be pulling. So this lane right here is going to run into these creeps. The problem is this camp is being pulled, and you see this because you decided to place your ward here, which is turning out to work out a little bit. I don't like this ward at all, if you can't tell, but this is fine. So you see Phoenix is pulling this small camp up at the 14-second mark. Let's rewind a little bit here. So let's see. This is what you see. No, this is not. This is what you see. Okay. So right now you see Phoenix on the map. So it's now 15 seconds. You've got your ward down here. You see Phoenix on the map. He's not in lane. He's clearly pulling the small camp. That's perfect because that's a single pull camp. He hasn't doubled it. He hasn't stacked it yet. And what you have is you have a single hard camp which has more and stronger creeps in it. So after this creep wave starts to run down, you want to pull this camp out sideways horizontally at 17 seconds. So the pull is you run over, you aggro this creep, and you drag it straight out, and you kind of stand right here on this like cracked part of the pavement for some reason. I don't know what's up with that, but you basically stand there and you let one of the creeps smack you, and this is the timer for 17 seconds, which is about to happen in 2 seconds. So you have enough time to run right over, stand right here, and aggro this creep at about the 16-17 second mark, and you could time it perfectly. If for some reason you're a little early, you can aggro the creep earlier, more like 16 seconds, and you can kind of drag it down a little more like at an angle here. If you're late, you can drag it up and you can pull it in between the trees right there. And if for some reason you're really late, or you're on the other team and you're the hard support on the other side, you can aggro it way up here. So you basically have like this whole bracket of ranges of where you can aggro this camp out to. And it ranges from like 16 seconds down here up to it's about 25 seconds up here. No, actually that's wrong, because that's when you're the support on the other side. So for you, it's going to be closer to about 20 to 23 seconds for this side. So you basically have anywhere between the 16 and 23 second window to get it. 17 is easy. Just remember fucking 17, because that's the one for every other fucking camp in the game. And so if you just remember 17, it works on all 4 fucking pole camps. The hard camp, the small camp on the top, and the hard camp, small camp on the bottom. 17 seconds always fucking works. But either way, you have to do that so that you can meet these creeps here. Your creeps go into the jungle, you deny them, and then Mars can take the creeps that are up here and walk them all the way back to the tower. Because while he's doing that, they're going to be denying their creeps and trying to get some of the last hits on the neutrals up here, and you're basically canceling that out. But what it looks like you're about to do is you're about to just run into a Phoenix and soak up his XP, which is okay. But it's just not as efficient right here, because the Mars still has to take the creep wave back, and you're not denying a creep wave to Phantom Assassin, which is really the important part. You want to slow down Phantom Assassin's farm. Alright, enough of that. Alright, so you get up here, you see that he pulls, aggro him, you're not aggroing the creeps, you're not countering the pull, you're just trying to trade, okay? Alright, so you're standing perfectly still while you aggro, and this is something that we'll get into later. But basically, while you were trading, you stood perfectly still, and you just let your character slowly do its right clicks, and that's fine. The next advanced technique that I'll give you a video on somewhere else is basically this. What you do is, when you're here, and their hero's here. You throw a right click, and then you take a step, and then you throw a right click from that spot, and then you take a step, and then you throw a right click from this spot, and you take a step. And basically what you do is you sort of walk your way towards them as you're right clicking. And so instead of just standing back here and throwing 1, 2, 3, 4 right clicks, you're doing 1, closer, 2, closer, 3, closer. So by the time you end, you're actually closer to the enemy, which is good, because in this case, you're winning the health fight. Phoenix has very little health. You've out-traded her. And so if you're closer to her, when she decides, oh shit, I'm losing, I need to start running away, you can get a couple more right clicks on the end. And the second benefit is it cancels your animation for attacking. And that's something that there's like 100 videos on. I'm not going to try to explain it. I'll just link you to someone else's YouTube video. But basically, the idea is, as you're lying, you wind your arm back, and then you throw your attack. And then you have like a backswing where you kind of bring your arm back here. And then you wind your arm back, and you throw your attack, and then you bring it back. And then you do this like whole animation, whatever, and it does that whole loop. Well, if you cancel your animation by doing something else, by either hitting the stop key or issuing another command like a stutter step walk or whatever, you bring your arm back, you attack, and then you've already started walking to another position. So this closing part of the loop actually doesn't happen. And then you bring your arm back, you attack, and then you walk again. And instead of waiting for your arm to come back to whatever it was doing, okay, so I actually am fucking wasting my time to explain. But basically, the whole idea is you get more efficiency time-wise, and you can get a couple more attacks in. Purge actually has a really good video where he does like a slow motion, and he has like a guy attacking someone, and he does the animation cancel, and then he does it without animation cancel, and he times it in slow motion so you can see just how much time you lose. And basically you get like 25 to 30% more attacks in the same frame of time if you do that. But that's kind of advanced, and we won't worry about that right now. Otherwise, you're doing pretty good. Okay, good last hit on that creep. Okay, so you're up here in the camp, that's fine, you're doing your thing. You've got a sentry, you didn't block it. So I guess you're using your sentry to de-ward if they block your hard camp, and that's fine. But just like the P5, you need to have 2 sentries in the early game. So Coming out to lane with a sentry is excellent. Within the first 60 seconds of the game, you should already be buying a second sentry, and that should be coming out on the courier with whatever your other first item is. Usually it's like a magic wand, or maybe it's another set of tangos, or another salve, or some mangoes for mana, whatever. You could also send it out by itself if you're not going to get an item quickly, and you're just going like brown boots or something stupid like that. Usually you don't want to try and do that. But you need to have your second sentry coming out, and for the same reason the P5 did, if you use your sentry ward to block this camp, which you're supposed to, and you're not right now, if they deward it, then you've lost that benefit unless you can get back, block it again, and kill the dewarding ward. Basically, that helps you win the whole lane. If this camp is not blocked, you are already losing the lane. So this small pull camp is extremely important for how this lane goes for everybody, because if Phoenix can continue to drag the creeps out to this camp in the jungle, then it makes it harder for your offlaner to get in and fight with the PA. The PA is going to be fighting closer to her tower, where she gets more armor and more health regen, and it's more dangerous for you guys if someone else TPs in to try and complete a gank, things like that. So you always want to have the creep equilibrium as far back to your tower as you possibly can. So I think you should drop this sentry ward right here and block this camp now that you've cleaned it, so that the 2-minute spawn doesn't actually show up. Okay, she's right there. Stun, good. Walk. Okay, and you can't go for that, so good thing you didn't try, but you are bringing the creeps around, doing something. Yeah, so that's really unfortunate. For some reason, Phoenix fought you up here, and then I guess you were trying to bring the creeps back into this point, but because you had no health and you're playing against somebody that has a blink, you just fed for no reason. Whereas you could have walked down here, walked the creeps in, you could have denied the creeps into your hard camp, and then you could have farmed them, or you could have brought them back under the tower this way while you wait for your salve to heal you up. But instead you decided to walk around with like 10 HP right in front of the PA, and she just deletes you for free. So that was a pretty silly mistake. So yeah, definitely bring them down this way. And some people will even, it's not as common, but some people will actually walk them through the river. So they'll take the creeps up here, they'll pull them through, maybe they'll pull them into this camp, maybe they pull them in this camp, or maybe even after that's done, they'll walk them across the river, up the stairs here, down past these trees, and then there's a ring here. It's not showing right now, but basically the tower aggro ring is something like this, and they walk it through the trees right here, and then they meet them with another wave of creeps coming up from your fountain. But the thing is, by meeting them way back here, it's impossible for PA or whoever else to get to them because this is such a safe area. So then your Mars just runs all the way back here, free farms this wave for free, denies a bunch of your creeps, and you basically denied an entire wave of experience to the Phantom Assassin. Mars ends up losing the wave that he was trying to deny up there, but because that would have been a partial deny, whereas this is a full deny, it's a better trade-off. Alrighty, back to you. You also didn't use your fairy fires, so that's another thing. If for some reason you guys think you're high-level pros and you can buy the fairy fires because you're going to escape clutch moments, that's cool. You have to prove it. Disruptor didn't. Disruptor wasted one of his fairy fires when he didn't need to, and he used it in a spot where he wasn't going to die anyway. And then when he did die, he didn't use his fairy fire. You did the same thing. So PA is level 2. She doesn't have an awful lot of damage. If you fairy fire yourself as she blinks onto you, you get an extra 85 health, and that's an extra 2 or 3 right clicks from PA, and you could have actually stunned her and then turned around and walked away. So you had the item that keeps you alive in that situation. If you wanted to be cool and outplay the PA, it would have been a cool bait. PA blinks on you, you eat the fairy fire, you suddenly have 180 health instead of 100. PA can't immediately delete you. You stun her, Mars walks over, Mars throws his spear because he has the correct 2 fucking spells, and you guys would have actually turned and killed the PA, and that would have been a cool move. You're not going to think of that, and the P5 isn't going to think of that, and I'll mention it later. But basically, you guys should not buy fairy fires for now. Maybe later in the season, you guys will figure it out, and you'll get good at it, and you'll pull it off in pubs. But right now, all you're doing is you're spending 150 gold for 4 damage, and you don't need the right-click damage, because you're out-trading the Phoenix, but you would have done that anyway. You don't need these extra 4 damage on your 50 to be able to out-trade the Phoenix. unless he's throwing fire spirits on you, in which case you can't trade anyway and you have to leave. So this doesn't change anything for your laning phase other than it wasted some gold. It means your tranquil boots are going to be slower, your magic wand is going to be slower. Everything that you buy from the rest of the game is going to be like 2 minutes slower because you've wasted the first 2 minutes of your time with these items that you're not getting the value out of. If you could pop it and turn a fight around and actually kill the PA, then it would have been a different thing. But having seen that, I'm going to say no more fairy fires on the supports for this team because it's just not worth it if you forget to use it. You have to practice with it and you have to deliberately try to do it in order to get the value. You also have nothing in your quick buy. So, sorry, one more thing. I know I keep fucking pausing a lot, but there's a lot of things to go over. So, this area right here in the bottom right corner, this is called the quick buy, and there's usually a button that purchases whatever's in this box. You can set things in that box by opening up your shop, clicking on or shift clicking on something, and then that adds it to this box as, oh, I'd like to purchase this next. What you need to do is you need to have your next item here, because just as in that previous moment, if you were about to die, when you die with 350 gold, you lose a bigger piece of it. Whereas if you have a quick buy, the idea is, oh, I've got 350 gold, I'm about to fucking die, let me smack the thumb button on my mouse, which is my quick buy hotkey, it will purchase whatever's in here, your gold drops to 150 instead of 350, and the bounty that the PA gets from killing you is less, because part of the bounty that they get is based off of how much gold you are carrying. So if you're walking around with 10,000 fucking gold in your pocket and you're not buying items and PA kills you, she's going to get a percentage of that 10,000 fucking gold. Whereas if she kills you and you have 1 gold, she's going to get the kill bounty plus percentage of 1, which is fucking nothing. So you want to have as many items or you want to have at least the next item that you're going to purchase here in your quick buy, so that if, let's say it costs 250, like Windlace, which should be your next item, you could have bought the Windlace, had 100 gold, and then PA kills you, and she gets much less prize money, basically. And it also shows the rest of the team what you're going to buy, because seeing this here, if I click on you, I have no idea what you're buying. If Mars clicks on you, he has no idea what you're buying. The enemy team can't see this, so they don't see what you're planning on, so it's not like giving away information. So always have your next item in your quick buy. Okay. Nice D ward, but it doesn't really serve an awful lot of purpose. You're in a bad spot. Get out. You try to walk away. That's good. So it's okay. You didn't need to use the fairy fire that early, but that works. Okay, now you would need to use it. Maybe you need a second one. Okay, so I'm not sure. I kind of watched that. I don't think you dropped below 85 health, so I don't think you actually needed to use the fairy fire to survive there, but it was the right idea. But I want to go back to the warding. So this is a good idea. So you place the sentry ward inside the grove of trees, and that's the right answer. A lot of people will just kind of place it out in whatever. Placing it in the trees does help keep it alive longer. It's harder for the Phoenix to kill it. As you saw, the Phoenix couldn't get it before you did, and it just all worked out in general. But again, I want to harp on, you're using the sentry ward to kill a sentry ward, and we didn't get any value out of that. So the 50 gold that you spent on that sentry ward was only used to kill someone else's sentry ward, and sentry wards have a bounty of 0. So like if you kill an observer ward, you get a little bit of gold from that, and it actually pays for the sentry ward. It's more than worth what the sentry ward costs. If you kill another sentry ward with a sentry ward, you get nothing, and you basically wasted 50 gold to cancel out the other guys. You didn't block this camp, and you didn't unblock this camp. So this sentry ward being way up here actually didn't block your hard camp. So you actually never lost the value of being able to pull this camp out to the side, which is a significant part of your gameplay. You need to be pulling this hard camp out as much as you possibly can. Oh, excuse me. Because Mars wants the wave to pull in and be as dynamic as possible, because that's how he's going to get kills on PA. Mars needs to threaten the PA in lane. He has the stun, he has the slow. Excuse me. You have a stun and a slow. PA isn't a particularly strong laner, so you guys should be threatening to kill the PA constantly. And the way you, excuse me, the way you do that is you pull this wave out to the side so that PA can't farm close to her tower. All right. So placement was good in that you put it in the trees, but the value of that ward's a little lost. And again, we need another sentry ward. You need to buy something. You have 400 gold. I don't know what you're saving it up for. Okay, so right now you're not doing anything. So right here, Mars is farming his wave, and he can do this all by himself. Mars doesn't need you to help last hit these creeps. And within these creeps, there's like a range, and it's something like this. And this is the XP bubble, where when these creeps die, everyone within this bubble gets a little piece of that experience. You're soaking Mars's XP, and so he's not gaining as much as he should have. Now, right now, you're not doing too bad. So he's got 200, you've got 113. So your ratio is much better than Lifestealer Disruptors, because Disruptors like eating all of Lifestealer's XP. So you're basically giving him, or you're basically taking only about half of as much as he's getting. So you're getting a third, he's getting 2/3 the XP. The thing is, you're not providing any value to the Mars here. PA doesn't have any kill value or kill potential on the Mars. Phoenix doesn't either. Mars is underneath his tower, so as he stands in the tower, he gets the extra 3 armor, the extra health regen, and there's basically no threat to him. Mars can't be threatened in any way right here. So you don't have to stand here and sort of protect him. It doesn't give us any value. You don't need to last hit these creeps because that's his job. He's trying to get the gold from these. You don't need to particularly deny them because since it's uncontested, like if PA was here, it would be harder because PA and Mars would be contesting and then your third little bit would help. But PA isn't here and it's an empty lane, so Mars can actually last hit and deny every single one of these creeps by himself. And what the team is missing out on right now is vision. You have no idea what's going on over here. So you put a sentry ward up here, great. You lost your observer ward, and you have no other vision in the area. So what you want to do is you want to push up around and you want to stand here kind of at about this tree and stick your head out right into this sidewalk. Because what that does is that takes you out of this XP bubble right here. It puts you in this XP bubble. So if for some reason PA is in this camp fucking killing these creeps, the bubble goes out here, and so if you stand right here, you actually steal some of the XP from Phantom Assassin as she's killing neutral creeps. And if you stick your head over here and you look this way, you say, oh, there's a fucking PA there. Now Mars knows he doesn't have to worry. The rest of the team doesn't have to worry. If you say, yeah, if you see PA and Phoenix together, then you don't have to call it missing because, oh, no one's missing, both of our people are on their lane, and my mid player doesn't have to worry about the Phoenix doing some wraparound where he goes all the way around here and then somehow kills the mid player, even though Phoenix isn't really a great ganking support, but it's possible. And if it was a different support or a different matchup, you would want to. I don't think I've seen any missing calls in your chat, so I don't think you're using the missing wheel. The missing wheel is Y, so you hold the Y button. In this case, it's something else because I'm in fucking spectator view. But you hold down the Y button, and then you drag to the right, I think it is, and then it calls missing. And if you're standing in a lane, it automatically says missing, and then whatever lane you're in. So that tells the rest of the team that you don't have people. But right now, you don't see things, and your only value as a support right now is to provide vision. You're not last hitting, you're not contesting, you're not harassing. You don't need to do any of that right now particularly, but you do want to be in this area. You want to see if this camp is getting pulled or stacked because it's 255, so Phoenix is probably stacking this small camp so that the next time he pulls out on the wave, this whole creep gets denied, or the whole wave creep gets denied, and then you lose all that experience. Both you and Mars and us as a team, we all lose the experience of that wave of creeps, and they get the extra farm from this group of neutral creeps here. You need to be sort of in this area, kind of dancing on the edge of vision, so that you can provide, sort of that information to the team. So it's kind of an opposite role than P5. With P5, you stay behind, you babysit the offlaner, or you babysit the carry, you make sure that he gets his farm, and you try and keep the P3, P4 from killing him. As a P4, you're the more offensive element, so you need to be looking at the Phoenix, looking at the PA, threatening to kill them with a double stun, and sort of harassing them, taking some of their farm, whatever. You don't need to babysit the Mars. Mars is supposed to play dangerous, and any offlaner is supposed to play a little more on the edge, and a lot of times he's just going to die, and you're expecting him to die, and that's okay, because he's not the hard carry. He's providing some sort of utility so that the hard carry can win the rest of the game for us, but he doesn't need to be babysitted, and his life doesn't need to be preserved, because his gold isn't all that critical, and it's more critical that you slow down PA's gold than it is that you buff up Mars's gold. Alrighty, enough of that. Moving on. Yeah, so this time you're sitting here, this is totally pointless. You're hiding in the trees, not sort of doing anything. I wonder if you're actually there. Okay, you're back. Alright, harass that PA. Run up and smack her. Stun. Where's your stun? Okay, there you go. You got a stun for him so that he can get the spear. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff right there. Right click, right click, right click. You have full mana. Okay, so you ended up mana draining a little bit longer than you needed to. And it's okay that you still get the slow, but because of how slow Mars is, he can't catch up. Now you guys dove too far. Too far, you guys have screwed this up. Alright. Risky. Not sure the Fairy Fire was necessary there either, but okay. Good harass, but you guys need to get out. Yeah, you need to just eat that salve and get out, or maybe give the salve to him. Yeah, so I'm going to say that's the second Fairy Fire use that was not necessary. You didn't save your life there. Maybe you thought something was going to happen, but it didn't. Okay, so now you've got items in the quick buy. That's good. Tranquil Boots and a Magic Wand. That's exactly right. You should already have the stick from Magic Wand because PA is throwing daggers every like 8 seconds or something. And so you'd have a lot of charges built up by now if you had your Magic Wand early. Your Magic Stick early. Alright, so again, you're just sitting here doing nothing. So this is really bad, because not only are you hiding, not doing anything, you're out of range for if they do jump on Mars. So Mars is way up here, and you'd have to run back up to him to then stun somebody up here. That would take so long that Mars is probably going to get jumped if, for some reason, they had a combo that would jump on you. So you need to be playing more forward. You need to be playing over in this area, again, to leech XP from these camps if they take it, and to provide Mars the vision, and to trade with the Phoenix. Because early on, level 1, you traded well with the Phoenix. For some reason, you've given up on that idea. You beat the Phoenix in a trade, and then you kind of nearly lost a trade, and so I think you got like a little gun shy, and now you're not trying to trade with the Phoenix anymore. You still right-click better than the Phoenix does, and so if it's you and Phoenix in the jungle, you should be trying to kill him. And if it's you and PA in the jungle, you should still be trying to kill him, or at least steal his last hits, or at least take away some of his health. Okay, going around the side, that's okay, he sees you. So, because the way you danced right here, these creeps see you, you know, remember the way the whole Dodo map works, he gets fucking telekinetic, you know, ESPN, whatever, psycho vision of what the creep see. So if the creep sees him, his character sees you too. So when you dance over here, even though his character's up in the trees here, because his teammate sees you, he gets that information on his screen, so he actually saw you walk up here. So you're not fooling him by walking into these trees right here. He saw you do it the whole time. Alright, so you got boots on your courier and another sentry. That's excellent. And you should be sending this out. So it looks like you're not sending it out. Wow, you bought another Fairy Fire. Okay. Yeah, you should not buy Fairy Fires anymore during league matches. This is really not good, because now you've spent 225 gold on the Fairy Fires, and that could be your Magic Stick, so you should have a Magic Stick right now, or it could be your Windlace, or it could be whatever. So you've delayed an entire item to try for a third time to do something that you failed to do twice already. So that's really not good. You really need to send this courier out too. These boots are huge, and you need to have them out earlier instead of waiting to try and get like this entire row. You should not be trying to buy everything in this row and then send it all out in one courier. It should be just the boots and the ward. Alrighty, you also can't use Fairy Fire on, so another thing, salves are better for supports because you can give them to your carry if you have to, or your core. You cannot like click the Fairy Fire onto him, and so you can't just give him the health if he needs it for some reason. Whereas if you had a salve, you actually could give them the salve by salving him for him. You don't hand him the unit, but you click it on him, and it actually heals him instead. So it's a much better item. Fairy Fires are completely selfish. Alright, so you have two options here. This wave is pushing in, and this wave is going to run into this tower. If you think that they're pulling, which in this case they are, you have two options. You can run up and interrupt, or you can pull your own camp out. Pulling your own camp is almost always better for the off lane, because this is a stronger camp than the small camp. Small camp creeps are weak, and so they tend to not kill off the lane creeps, whereas these creeps actually do tend to kill off the lane almost every time. So if you pull and he pulls, it's actually better for your side, because both of you successfully pulling is good, because he's going to end up getting about half of his creeps killed, whereas you will get all of your creeps killed. And so that's a good trade. If you go and invade, you're going to be late. These creeps are going to push into the tower. Mars is going to lose control over the next two lanes, and now you're trying to basically play an aggressive game where you kill off the Phoenix or steal all of his last hits in this area the entire time that they're trying to be denying, and you're getting here so late that you don't actually know what's been going on. You haven't seen this area for the last like 2 minutes. So as far as you know, this could be stacked and they could be denying the whole thing, and you may already be too late, and so it's very iffy. Alright. Okay, got your stun. Mars is way out of position though, and he's got a thing to fly out. Okay, so this creep wave's gone. That's good. And unfortunately, PA is denying all that stuff. Okay, you should stun him. Okay. Well, so because the Phoenix is out of lane, you want to go 2v1 every chance you get. Okay, Phoenix is back. You should go back for this. Big kill on the Phoenix if you drop this stun. Oh, okay. So something you want to learn as Lion is if you try and stun someone by clicking Earth Spike on their unit, you have a certain range. That is actually not the maximum range of Earth Spike. So if you stand here, and you go into a lobby and practice this. If you stand right here, let me draw the fucking shit. If you stand right here, this is your character, and this is PA's character. If you try and use your stun by clicking on this character unit right here, if it's outside of max range or outside of actually less than max range, your character is going to walk up a little bit and then cast the stun from this point. If you ground target the stun anywhere in this line, let's say if you cast your stun right here on this point, the stun will run through this line and it will actually hit the PA because it's longer range than what you think it is. And of course, you have to play Lion a lot to understand what that range is and kind of get a feel for it. But believe it or not, and I play a lot of Lion, the ground target is actually the better option sometimes. Not just because, not just because you need to sort of walk your character around, because in that case, like the Phoenix was walking away, so your character had to try like go through around some trees or something to click on the Phoenix. But you also actually get a tiny little bit of extra range if you ground target instead of trying to unit target. That's something you'll figure out if you keep playing it. Of course, ground targeting also comes with the risk that you miss completely, so that's not good too. Okay, 48, 49, you're late. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, you're gonna get the pull just fine. No, don't run too far. Okay, so that worked out in that case. Sometimes that's not going to work out. So you aggroed this camp, you pulled it out, that was perfect. You were a little earlier than I expected, but that's fine. What the problem is when you walked out to these creeps, you actually walked completely through them and away, and you let these creeps meet. And that's okay if it works out like it did here. I'm going to tell you, sometimes that won't happen. Sometimes as you're walking out, you're going to drag these creeps here, and you actually need to stop here and let these creeps attack you so that these creeps can be like, oh my god, my friend's getting attacked, and they'll actually walk to the right. If you keep walking all the way through, sometimes these creeps are going to come out this way, and then they're going to lose interest, and they're going to turn around and go back. And then you're going to miss the pull completely because these creeps will think, oh, everything's fine, they left, and they're going to continue walking straight. So if you walk all the way through the lane, just realize sometimes you're going to miss the pull. And so you need to stand in the fight, and you need to make sure that you get these creeps to aggro together before you walk away from them, because it won't always happen. Sometimes it's nighttime, so the nighttime will change the vision, so the fighting is different at night. The creeps have different vision ranges, and then sometimes certain types of creeps or certain camps will have different leash lengths. So certain types of creeps won't actually aggro as far as other types of animals, and certain camps won't aggro as far and leash as far. The creeps will turn around earlier for certain camps. Like this one's really far. The box is way over here, and they walked way out here. Sometimes creeps will turn around like only this far. They'll walk out here and they'll loop around, and you got to get a feel for it. But really the safe play is to stay just outside of your lane's aggro range and let these creeps hit you one time. The extra, 5 damage that these creeps are going to do to you for a split second really isn't that big of a deal. You should be able to tank 5 damage and then just heal it back up real quick before you move on. Alright. Really want to see this magic stick come out before anything else. So I'll tell you, buying boots before the magic stick is a big mistake. The boots make you a smidge faster, and that's great, but the extra 10 charges that you could be building up for the magic stick is going to turn a fight. That's going to keep you alive when someone comes to gank you guys, or it's going to give you enough mana that you can double stun and use your impale and your hex. It's a shame that you don't have hex, but whatever. So that, a whole fight breaks out differently. Whereas the boots, yeah, maybe it'll help you run away a little bit, but it's less likely. And the stick is so much cheaper. You should really get stick and windlace before boots. You should just buy the windlace. Get into the habit of buying windlace before boots. You shouldn't waste time trying to save up twice as much money to get the 45 movement speed when you can just get the 20 here for a little bit cheaper. Yeah, it's not as great, but early on, just having a movement speed advantage is enough to overtake the Phoenix or the PA, who still doesn't have their boots yet. All right. Okay. Doesn't look like you body blocked that camp, so I'm not sure what's going on there. They must have cleared that out again, or what? These are your creeps. Yep, you need to last hit these. Oh, no, you need to go back. Stun, stun, stun. Okay, so that's a mistake. So you're standing there with your Earth Spike. Your Earth Spike does a significant amount of damage. It's 140. You can throw the Earth Spike in there, you'll stun the PA, you'll get some damage on PA, you'll kill the creep, you'll get the gold from last hitting the creep, and then you and all these other creeps can then start hitting the PA for more damage. Instead, you just right-click the PA one time, and you only did a smidge of damage there, and now she's going to walk away without being stunned and taking the additional damage, and she got the gold from those creeps over there. Those two neutral creeps were yours. You should have right-clicked and last hit both of those creeps. Okay, so chase. You need to be chasing in. You need to chase in and stun and aggro and deny and fight for these. Because basically, while you're doing this, it's good that you're now up here. While you're doing this, Mars is free farming. And this is good. This is ideal for your offlaner. Your enemy safe laner can't lane against you, so you're basically doing all this other jungle jumping, and your Mars is just sitting in lane, denying and CSing every single one of these, and you get to go around and attack these guys and bully them, try and deny some of your creeps, try and steal some of their creeps in the jungle. This is perfect, but you do want to stay outside of this bubble. Alright, stay close. You can get a stun here if you want. Use your stun. Okay, so now you've got maximum mana. Nothing's going to happen for a little while. If you're in a very vulnerable lane where you're worried, oh man, my offlaner might die any second, I got to keep Earth Spike ready, okay, that makes sense. You sort of save it. Right now, Mars is under his tower. Again, he gets the bonus, he gets extra armor, he gets extra regen, he's last hitting here. This is going to take like 30 seconds. So Mars isn't in any threat of dying for the next 20-30 seconds at least. You have a short cooldown, 12 seconds on Earth Spike, and you have maximum mana. You've got more mana, you're regenning it every second, nothing's going on. Phoenix actually walked through these two creeps. So these two creeps were here, Phoenix walked up this way with PA, and then decided, I changed my mind, I walked back. You could have stunned the Phoenix, that would have given you 140 damage. You would have right-clicked her a couple times, so that's another 150 damage. The creeps would have started hitting the Phoenix, that's like another 40 damage. And you would have done an awful lot of damage to this Phoenix, who's only at 400 health. That would have taken the Phoenix down to half of that. Oh, excuse me. So now Phoenix is at like 200 health, and she's got no fucking regen, so Phoenix would have to run all the way back to the fountain or hide because she's scared and wouldn't be able to play much on the map. So you could have completely ruined Phoenix's game right there in those 5 seconds if you had stunned her, right-click, hex her, right-click, mana drain. Because then the mana drain gives you all the juice back that you just wasted from your 2 spells, and you got, 2 spells worth of damage and right-clicks on the hero. So it was a big opportunity there for you. And yeah, PA was there close by, but if PA leaves, PA has to miss last hitting. So that's another thing. Maybe you thought, oh, I can't do that because PA's over here trying to hit these 2 creeps. If that happens, that's good because PA jumps on you, you realize, okay, this is over, I'm leaving. You start running away. You have 2 spells, so if you haven't used both of them, use the other one to disable the PA to help you get away, and then PA's wasting more of her time not farming these creeps. So while Mars gets to continue to farm, PA then has to waste another 10-15 seconds trying to do something else that isn't farming. You've got this salve, and this salve needs to be used in lane or it's a waste. So you brought a lot of regen, which is good. You used, 4 of your 6 tangos, that's good. But if you don't get the chance to use these, in the mid-game, these items aren't worth much. Tangos aren't worth diddly dick because the amount of healing you get is so small compared to what everyone's hero or health pool is at that point that you're not getting any value. The salve, there's a little bit of value there, but you really want to try and trade it. You want to exchange this 110 gold for negative 400 health on the enemy. And the way you do that is you right-click, you fight them down 400 health, you disengage, you heal your 400 health, they don't, and then you go back and continue to attack them, but now you're 400 health higher because of this salve, and you can either kill them or bully them completely out of the lane. But if you just end the laning stage with extra tangos and extra salves, then either the lane was so great that you bullied them away and they ran away to hide in the jungle, which isn't the case, or you weren't aggressive enough and you had extra resources to work with that you didn't end up using. Now, if you have a salve left over and you did bully them away, that's excellent. They've just completely given up on the lane, and they're probably going to lose the game. All right. Stun. Okay. Alright, well. So it looked like Mars was diving. So at that point, Mars was running past the lane. If you stun, Mars walks around the PA, stuns him into a tree, and then 2 stuns worth of damage, 2 stun durations worth of right clicks, and you're slow, your Hex, Mars is stun and slow after that. That might be a dead PA, especially if Phoenix is no longer in the area. So you really got to be, sort of ready for those opportunities, especially when you see your core start diving toward their core. Okay, so you're here taking these. Okay, so that's okay. I would prioritize your hitting there on some of the other creeps. You could have last hit some of the creeps on the top side that were lower health, but you kept attacking the creep that was just closest to you, which isn't as efficient. And now you're walking this creep back, and the problem with you walking this creep back is you're giving them vision. So PA doesn't have to play scared because this creep knows where you are, so you have no threat of surprising PA somewhere, stunning her, and then taking her farm. It's nice that you try to give that last hit to your Mars, though. It's good stuff. All right, but again, you're playing real passive and real catty here. So this doesn't do anything while you're hiding in this back area. Now that the creep no longer has vision on you, re-invade. Go back in, go look for the Phoenix, go look for the PA, let Mars do his thing where he's just free farming and no one's even trying to hit him. You can either run down to this hard camp and you can pull this out. So 17 seconds is coming up, pull that out, you pull it at like 19 seconds, but that's fine. Either way, pull this out or go invade and find the PA and find the Phoenix. All right, here we go. On here, walking around. Phoenix has your ward. That sucks. Stun. Big stun. Big stun. Where's the stun? Okay. Okay, good stuff. So you kind of stack your second spells there. But that's all right. You don't want to put any gap. And so, when you stun, you have a duration on this one, you have a duration on this one, and ideally, you add the second disable right after the first one. In this case, it looked like you were kind of waiting for the Mars to throw his spear or something. If for some reason the enemy hero has a way to get out, like in Phoenix's case, he has the dive, Phoenix can push Q and he just swoops away, and then you guys lose your chance to kill him. So in that case, it's better to stack the stuns just a little bit on top of each other and go ahead and overlap them, just because, excuse me, you don't need the full duration. It doesn't take, 2.2 plus 2.5 plus 2.4, like that was at 7.5 seconds. You guys don't need 7.5 seconds to kill Phoenix. You can probably kill him in about 4.5 to 5. So it's better that you stack the stuns and overlap them a little bit and just like stun someone who's still on the tail end of being stunned from their last spell, then wait a second, let him have time to come back to normal form, because then he might do something where he stuns you back, or he flies away, or he blinks out, or invises, or whatever. Alright. Alright, another sentry ward spent to kill sentry wards, so it's unfortunate. You're not getting any value out of those. I mean, yeah, you're killing sentry wards, but, doesn't help any, especially if you don't have observer wards to protect. There shouldn't be killing observer wards. You're not getting observer wards, so. Alright, so you stayed out of the box there. I'm not sure if that camp is dead, but maybe you thought it was. Okay, there you go, stun. Okay, that's fine. You need to stay. You need to stay right there. So you got scared, and I don't know why. PA can't just delete you right now. If PA jumps in and she gets a crit on you, you lose about half your health. That's fine. You want to stay somewhere in this area because you can still see PA is farming this shit. I still heard the attack animations of the PA attacks on, from your player's perspective just a second ago. So you know that she's there. You heard the Centaur ult, so yeah, maybe the PA could run out and try and run you down, but they're not here. The Centaur is down bottom. There's another fight going on over here, and you see these people on the minimap. So what you want to do is, again, stay within the XP bubble. You don't have to attack the PA if for some reason you're scared. You think, oh, PA will jump out and kill me. That's fine. Stay within this bubble. It might be a little bit bigger like that. It might be more like this. But stay within this arc so that you still get experience range when these creeps die, and you leech some of it from PA, because all the experience that you leech is experience that PA doesn't get. Alright. Yeah, you're doing nothing right now. You're just hanging out, watching Mars farm. You're not stacking, you're not pulling, you're not invading PA's jungle. Phoenix is missing off the map, probably stacking and pulling. 47 seconds is perfect. Pull, 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 pull. Ah, you missed your timer. This is it right here. Maybe you do it late. You're going to do it late. Okay. So if you're going to do it late like that, then the thing is you need to pull up. Remember the diagram I drew a little second ago. So if you're here, oops, where's the fucking thing? This is 47 or, yeah, this is 47 or 17, because remember, it's a 30-second difference. 47 or 17, so this is like a 0, so this becomes either 20 or 50. This is like a 15, maybe 16, or more like 16, maybe 15, or 45, 46. And then if you really have to, you can bring it all the way up across the top side, and that's the last chance. That's like 55, 25, 55. Those are your timings for pulling. And again, you have this whole bracket, but you have to adjust your path. So when you aggro this creep camp, it was already 50 seconds. And when you ran out, you tried to run out down the 47-second path. You need to run out the 50 or the 55 path in order to make sure that you match the creeps up, because you're going to miss it. And if you're going to miss it, then there's no reason to even do it. You might as well not attack the creeps at that point, and you might as well wait till 56, 57 seconds, because at 56, 57, you can attack these creeps, drag them out. There's nothing to pull to, but when they go back in, they're going to stack. And so then it'll be 2 sets of creeps in this camp, because you've stacked them, there's more gold and more things to kill. So if you're about to miss the pull, either adjust your pull for a different angle and run a different direction, or wait and then just aggro it at the 56, 57 stack point so that you can double up the camp and make more creeps. Either one of those is better than just missing entirely. Alright, so you got your Trank Boots and a Magic Stick, going for a Wand, and nothing in your Quick Buy after that, okay? Okay, so now in this case, there's another trick you can do right here. So Mars is pushing into the tower, and they've given up on it. PA isn't here, Phoenix isn't here, for whatever reason, they've decided to flip lanes or go gank or go jungle or whatever. That's cool. Your job here, while Mars is pulling into the tower, is to not let the next wave of creeps come in so that Mars can continue to hit this tower and kill it. So what you want to do is, at this point, you want to come up here in this lane, stand in the lane behind the tower, and when the creeps come from this side, the creeps are going to come down this way from the fountain. You're going to pull them down, and you're going to either deny them into this camp or then deny them into the hard camp. Or I guess you could pull them all the way back to your tower. Either way is fine. But either way, you don't want them going this way into the tower, because then they slow down this push where Mars is trying to kill the tower. So in this point, this is one of the times where you actually want to shove into the tower so that Mars can just kill it and you guys can take over some more space on the map. You just kind of hanging out here in the jungle, walking around, doesn't really do anything. Okay, looks like you're going to place some wards. You got to place the sentry first, unless you don't think that there's a chance that they warded that. Really don't know what you're doing with those sentries. Okay. See, now you're just hanging out with the Mars again. And I mean, maybe if you help him push, yeah, okay, so attack these creeps and just help push, that's fine. But this is the less efficient way to do it, because you standing here and helping to right-click these creeps pushes the tower slower than if you drag the incoming wave of creeps out. Because if you drag the incoming wave of creeps out, then that's a whole lot less units to hit these guys, and only the tower is here to defend itself. Alright. Looks like someone's TPing in. That's not good. You guys gotta get out. Get out, get out, get out. You see the TPs, and you do start to leave. Okay. Okay. Well, it's a nice double stun to give your team some time, but yeah, you were just kind of dead there. So you definitely stayed too late, though. Like, you saw the TPs, and everyone seemed to scatter before you. So you just got to be a little quicker on paying attention to those TP markers, and when everyone else leaves, you got to leave right after them. I mean, it's good that you left last, so you were the one that got picked off instead of the core. Like, we don't want Lifestealer or Mars to get jumped, but you could have gotten away for free and not died at all there. Alright, so we are well past laning stage. I'm going to say that gank and rotation was the end of your lane, and we are now in the mid game. So I am going to switch over to the P3 review.